welcome everybody to the conversation. Bridge the gap. This is Tyquan. I got the national prez of MZK, Omar. Man, that name's ring bells in the Breakin, worldwide breaking scene. So let's get into it. For the upcoming generation, because as every new generation coming into the game, and having people on here share their information, share their knowledge and wisdom. And I think one of the person that qualify for that is you, brother. I mean, you've been in for a long time. You set trends, you created moves, combinations that a lot of people are doing now. So let's brush up a little bit on your history. Not go into detail, but just brush it up a little bit for the people that don't know about Omar. Right. And we go from there, man. So how did breaking came into your life, bro?
So breaking really came into my life just like it was a spontaneous thing. I used to hang out with older kids in my neighborhood, and they were all doing it. They were all getting down. And so I was hanging out with them. I started wanting to do it. Everyone in the neighborhood started doing it. My little brother was doing it. Some of my cousins were doing it. And it was just like the trend. And then it just kind of, like all trends, things die out, and it started dying out. And when I was in middle school, I actually met my boy, Robert Medina. He was originally from Chicago. And so his older brother is Plastic Man from Junk Wards.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shout to Junk Wards, Chicago.
So Plastic Man came down that summer, and at that time, Junk Wards had already been established. They already been around. They had just gone to like UK champs and whatnot. And when I met Plastic Man, then he introduced me and his younger brother, Robert, to the Austin B-boys, like the Austin scene, which is where I'm from, born and raised. And that's when I started meeting like the actual B-boys from Austin. And that is really like what led to my exposure to like hip hop culture, because before that I knew what breaking was, but I didn't know like what like hip hop culture was. So now looking back, like my hip hop culture really is like that down south movement. Like I was listening to like rap music, like Screwed and Chop, DJ Screw, all that down south music. That's like my before hip hop.
Yeah, upbringing.
Hip-hop was, yeah. And then when I got introduced to like these b-boys, I started training, going to practice with them, and then I was exposed to like what b-boying was and the other elements of hip hop.
Yeah, that's so. What? How old were you when you got into it? You remember?
Yeah, I was like that's a long time ago.
I know, right?
I was like 11. I was like 11 or 12. Like 11 or 12.
It's funny I asked you that, right? Because even you're like, man. So imagine like all these OGs when we ask those questions. Like try to like 74, 75. For
those like, don't know, that's like our inside joke. Whenever we have like, older heads like talking about dates, we're always like, yo, back in my day, back in 74, 75. I don't even remember like exact dates for the things I did, let alone like what someone else did. So
yeah, shout to track 2. You know what I'm saying? That's the OG right there. But man, that's an inside joke. We always do like 74, 75.
So yeah, man. So I met the Austin like scene, and then I got close with a group of b-boys who were upcoming b-boys in Austin as well. JR, my boy John, aka Cosmo, my boy Everett, Eddie. Then I was cool with people like Mondo and Lewis. who at the time were a lot better and at a higher level than I was. But there's a lot of local dancers there. Yoshi, Dave Rock, Rudy Rex,
Word.
My boy Pete, and those are like the people who I was exposed to and who I was training with. And you know, there were so many people that were a lot better than me at that time, and I just always had ambition and I had drive, and I just wanted to constantly get better. So there was a lot of times when I was like the first one to practice and the last one to leave. And you have to remember, at this time, like, I'm going to school, like my mom is taking me to practice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, going home, trying to do my homework, sometimes not doing homework, and then going to practice, then getting picked up. And that's just how I got into it. At first, it was something like my dad didn't support breaking. Like, he didn't like that shit. He was like, "Yo, like, what are you doing? Like, you just throwing yourself on the ground." Like, he had no idea what it was. But later on, when he saw that I was like staying out of trouble and I wasn't like, you know, doing drugs or joining a gang or anything of that nature, then slowly but surely he started supporting it little by little. And obviously, as I like grew more in depth into the culture and got better, and was provided with opportunities, then he saw, you know, the potential in not only me but in breaking and hip hop as well.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, you're like one of those first main b-boys, right? I mean, during that time there was like low crossover. I mean, at that time it was like tribal was was heavy, you know what I'm saying? Right. Independent, but not corporation wise, right? So you're like one of the first one that kind of like crossed over into the corporate side, right? From like during that time it was like what? I know the 90s was like Raw, you know what I'm saying? You know, Raw, B-Boy Summits, and so on, Pro-Am, you name it, Rocksteady Crew Anniversary, etc. It was still grassroots, but then in 2004, that's when the corporate entities start coming in, right? Yeah. And you're like one of the first front line, right there and then. You know, Rebel Beast One was the first to kind of like through, you know, that whole Rebel BC1 2004 in Switzerland, right? Yeah. And you won that, you know, and then after that, I remember you were flying everywhere around the world, right? You were on private jets and all that. Like, that's the thing that people don't know, right? People think like all these flying around is something new, but you like one of the first front line. Like, one weekend be for you know, in Asia, the next weekend be in Europe, like. Right. And you've been there, done that. So that's why it's important for you to be on here, because I really, you know, want you to give advices to the new generation, right? Because we're at that point now, the corporation is really, it's next level, right? It's getting there too, right? And soon we're going to get into the Olympics and so on. So I feel like brothers like you should be at the forefront to kind of help develop that process, you know, because you have experience, you know. Right. So tell us about that, you know, you coming from, you used to represent tribal as well, right? Yeah. And then winning the Rebel BC1, the first ever. Tell us about that experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to kind of start before that, like, for people to really understand the process. And I think that's something important, like, for us to understand and respect in the culture is, like, everyone in this game that has success or has been successful or is succeeding right now has put in the work. And so I was no different. So I really just came up in local practices, just, you know, battling, losing, getting smoked. Like, I learned how to lose way before I was ever successful. In battles, in competitions, in the business aspect of breaking. So I learned to lose. I didn't have a choice. There were so many people better than me. So the one thing that I would say is, like, I got my start really, like, with the Parks and Rec in Austin, with my boy Roger Davis. He was kind of the first one who took us under his wing, like, to mentor us and give us, like, small opportunities to do, like, showcases and do things around the city. And that's how we kind of got exposure, like as far as like being able to do shows and showcase our talent. At that time, you have to understand, they're still doing like North Side versus South Side battles, so we had those in the city as well. And then, of course, the most pivotal, the most important event to this day in Texas history is B-Boy City. So the first B-Boy City I was B-Boy City 3. I was actually already pretty good. B-Boy City 4 start our first crew. My first original crew was called Fiends for Rhythm, with my original boys there in Austin. And then a little bit later after that, I joined Jack Turkeys, which was based out of Austin, Dallas, San Antonio. And from that point on, man, I was just looking for an opportunity, right? Like, I knew my talent was there, so I was just looking for an opportunity. So my first out-of-state event that I go to is B-Boy Summit, right? So I go to B-Boy Summit, and you have to remember, at this time, there's like, footage is not uploaded within the hour, you know? So you hear about people, and you hear about moves, and you hear about styles, but really you're just using your own imagination and creativity to put together what you envision those people are doing. So I go to B-Boy Summit, and I end up battling Ronnie Ruin, right? From LA Breakers, California style limits now, who at the time was like considered like untouchable. He's like untouchable. He's the best power mover in the world, whatever, and no one can beat him. And so he ends up calling me out. So I'm like mad nervous, and I actually remember finding out he was going to call me out. So I knew he was going to call me out before, because they were walking by, and this little kid was talking to Ruin about me, and he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna call him out. So I overheard that. I was still inexperienced, you know, at that level, at a national level. All my competitions were like local and statewide, so I was unexperienced. Ruin ends up coming to the cypher. He calls me out. We end up going a couple rounds. We start getting into exchange of words and stuff. You know, of course, there's other people there, Frankie Flav. And then my boy Golden Child Bo, who was living in Texas at the time, who was down with Renegades, comes through to the cypher with Roxrite and with Wicked. So my first battle that I get into ever, right, is with Ronnie Ruin, who at the time is like considered one of the best b-boys, one of the best power movers at the time. And then I got Wicked and Roxrite like there, kind of backing me up. And I've never even met these people. Like, I've seen and heard of them, like in footage, in videos, right? So long story short, man, that really put my name out there, put my name on the map. And from then on, it was just gun blazing, man. You know, now I knew, I'm not going to say that I beat Ruin. And honestly, I've never even seen the footage. So that's like 20 years ago, 19 years ago or something. I've never seen the footage. I would love to see the footage. It was a dope battle. And it gave me the confidence to be like, you know what, I can bang with the best of them. And if I can bang with the best of them, I can beat the best of them. So my confidence level just grew. And so I ended up getting, the first sponsor that I had was Wildstyle Technicians. So I ended up getting with Wildstyle Technicians, and they're backing me up. They're supporting me. They're supporting my crew, Jack Turkeys. And we start getting on the map, traveling around in Texas and also nationally, and start winning events. And if we're not winning events, we're definitely making noise, and we are just putting on a show. And so they start supporting me. And then a little bit later on down the line, I get sponsored by Tribal. And so I know a couple of people who were sponsored with Tribal at the time vouched for me, and told, you know, Bobby and Alex at Tribal that, you know, that I was a dope b-boy, and they put me on. And, the first box they sent to me was like a 50-pound box of gear, bro. And I was so hyped. Yeah. Like, I made it.
Right. You made it.
Right? Like that. You have to understand, like, at that time, my goals were a lot lower than they are now, or the aspirations that dancers have now because of the opportunities. So my goal was to travel and to be sponsored. Those were the only two goals I had. And I started accomplishing that. I was traveling and I was sponsored, you know, and then I started making a little bit of money. So Then in 2003, I get flown out to IBE. It's my first international event. You know, that event really blew it up as far as like the careers for myself, for Ronnie, for Machine, for Ben, for RJ, Rockadell. It blew it up for us, and it opened a bunch of doors and opportunities for us. And that was September 2003. After that, it was on, man. After that, it was just like we was traveling every couple of weeks on a monthly basis, just everywhere. So within the first 3 months, it was Holland, France, Japan. So after that, man, it was on, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, 2004, VC1.
Right.
I remember Cross telling me something like he emailed you or something to get you on board.
They were looking. So the original Red Bull BC1 was in Biel, Switzerland, right? And so what it was is they were looking for the best, right? Top 16 B-boys worldwide. And so I know Cross threw my name out there. So shout out to Cross One freestyle session. He threw my name out there, and I got the opportunity, and I got to go with Ronnie. You know, who at the time me and him were battling together, and we're traveling together. So it was definitely a dope experience. We were all injured. All the American B-boys were injured.
That's crazy.
Ronnie was injured. Iron Monkey was injured, and I was injured, right? So these are like the backstories people don't know. And we were just like, yo, we gotta take this. Like, it's like only, like, Breakin started in the U.S., and we're repping the U.S., so we gotta win. Me and Ronnie end up meeting up in the finals, and I ended up winning the first ever Red Bull BC1 in 2004. And the rest is kind of history, obviously. For everyone in the breaking scene now, they know the pedigree that event is and has become.
Where we're now, you know?
Yeah, since 2004. So.
Yeah, y'all set I think the prize was like you get a big old bottle or something. Big bottle.
Check this out. Because everyone is always like, yo, you got the belt. You got the first belt. Yo,
yeah, tell us about that.
I actually never got a belt. So this is what people don't know. So the first Red Bull BC1 that I won, or the first one ever that I won, I got a gold jacket, right? I got a huge bottle of champagne, and I got like 10 G's. That was like what I won, right? Then me and Ronnie ended up splitting that money. We got a $50 bill. We ripped it in half. He kept half, and I kept half. And that's kind of like the souvenir that we kept half, for memories later on. So now, after that, I was always a fan of boxing since I was a little kid. My dad used to drag me to go watch all the boxing matches, right?
Right.
So I was like, yo, if this is a one-on-one for the world championship, there should be a belt. So me and Ronnie, together, we actually pitched the idea to Red Bull that, yo, you guys should have a belt, right? So 2005, what do? They come out with the strap. Berlin, Germany, right? They come out with a huge Red Bull BC1 belt that Lilu wins, right? So Lilu ends up winning the 2005 BC1 belt in Berlin, Germany. The next year, Red Bull is like, yo, you got to give the belt back so we can to the next champion, right? And Lilu's like, nah. Like, my belt.
Right.
I'm not giving you my belt back. This is mine. And so that's what I think they came up with the concept of starting to have a belt for each world finalist, each winner of Red Bull BC1. So that's the history of the belt. So, yo, Red Bull, you guys owe me a belt, man.
I know, right? Yo, we can talk about that in Houston. For real. Yo, y'all heard it first, man. That's the thing with these conversations. Like, the new generation gonna hear these little stories, right? And they're gonna be like, wow, I didn't know that, So yeah, man. So now you know the belt was something that from Omar's and Ronnie was like, yo, let's do it then. And they pitched it. And damn, here we are. Every cat is holding up that belt for that world champ, you know? So that's official, man.
Yeah.
How do you feel, though, like, when you won that, you know? During that time, there was, like, I mean, there's big international event like IBE, right? But Red Bull BC1 was, like, one of the first big corporate event, right? And how did you feel at that time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, before that, there was Lords of the Floor, right? 2001, 2002. And so I already knew, like, the extent that that Red Bull, you know, or the influence that Red Bull could have in events. But to be a one-on-one, which to me is the ultimate battle, because it's you against another opponent one-on-one. There's no one to back you up. There's no crew. There's no nothing. It's just you. To me, that was like the biggest battle. To this day, I still consider one-on-ones like the most prestigious battles, because you're going to war, you're going to battle by yourself. And so when I won, first I was like straight up relieved. I was glad that it was over, right? Because one of the things that I dislike about battling is like the anxiety of actually battling, right? So like the waiting and like the being in the battle and dealing with nervousness and dealing like with like your energy dump or your adrenaline dump and having to deal with that and manage that. And are you winded? Are you tired? Are you injured? All of that. So the first thing was just relief. And the second thing was accomplished, obviously, right? And the third thing, I was proud, man. I was proud of myself, but I was proud of where I came from. I was proud of all my friends and my crew and all of the people who helped shape me and my career up until that point, who maybe people who don't know who they are, but had a huge influence in my career. So when I went back home, I told them, and to this day, I still tell those people, I'm like, yo, you guys, like, are the people who made me. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I was dope, before anyone knew who I was, these were the people who were investing their time with me to train, to give me ideas, to shape my style, to motivate me, to go rounds with me, to battle with me. So when I won out, I was just proud. But then I was like, yo, now it's on and popping. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like,
yeah, of course.
So that year also, we started traveling with B-Boy World. We started the B-Boy World team, right? And so the concept behind the B-Boy World team was really to start giving opportunities to the younger generation, the newer generation of B-Boys, and just giving more people opportunities, right? And so for a while, I was the one who was handpicking people who were on those teams. So I was really just trying to give people who I knew had tremendous amounts of talent, they just didn't have the opportunity to showcase their talent. And so I feel like I opened a lot of doors for people. I give a lot of people opportunities. There's actually a lot of people that went on their first international trips because I vouched for them or put them on the team. And so that, I think, really was also a transition in the game where the traveling really started to open up and expand, and we started opening doors for more and newer dancers, the younger generation, to be able to travel and showcase their talents on other or larger platforms.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, and B-Boy team is one of the first team like to put different B-boys right together and then travel all over the world just to battle. And as you say, it's like opportunity. It was a platform for opportunity. And was that time when Mex was on as well, or what?
No, so we were the original
B-Boy team, right? Right.
So it was like myself, Ronnie, Ben, Machine, Rockadile, later on Speedy from Unique Styles.
Unique Styles.
Warren from Jive Turkeys. Then we had my boy David from Jive Turkeys was in the mix for a couple battles. Then also Keeps. Shout out to Keeps, Masters of Mayhem, Mine 180, who was put on. And then it just kind of transitioned from there, right? And so as we transitioned out into other things or branched out into other things, we got into entertainment. I signed with an entertainment company and started traveling. Of course, everyone knows what Super Crew went on to accomplish. Machine was doing his own thing. We started doing our own thing. And then around that time, Meg started getting more involved as well. Machine got more involved in doing the hand selecting of the teams. So that's more like IBE, like 2005. And they come on the scene. And then, of course, from there, you see more and more people start coming into the international scene because they're given those opportunities. Not everyone, I'm not going to say everyone was like a international success, because you see some people who really come on for a couple of events, and then that was kind of it. They phased out. But then other people like Speedy, obviously Kingz, went on to have, great international success and really, build on their own platform and advance in their b-boy career.
Right. Man, thanks for that breakdown. And I'm sure a lot of people were like, wow. So this is like early mid 2000, right?
Yeah.
And while that was happening, Ness was putting you down Zulu Kingz as well, right?
Yeah.
Flexible Flav and all that. You was down, and then I think one of the first battle that you battled with the main lineup was the Gamblers, right?
Yeah.
Was it 2006, 2007?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Even with that, and I'm going to clarify something now, because a lot of people think that I got down with Zulu Kingz or MZK after I had all this success, right? And that's not true.
Nah, that's not it.
Yeah. Ness actually recruited me before I ever went overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that Ness has always had a good eye for is spotting potential and spotting talent, right? So I did a battle, myself, my boy JR, and my boy Worm. We did a battle in California, right? And Ness had already talked to me about potentially getting down and whatnot. And after the battle, Ness was like, "You did horrible." He's like, "You were horrible. You weren't powerful. You were slow and sluggish." I was like, "Damn." Right? I was like, "All right, yo, I did bad whack, but hey, we won." So
we won.
So at that time, they were recruiting entire crews. So Ready to Rock, Flexible Flav, and Jive Turkeys. So all of Jive Turkeys was representing MZK, Zulu Kingz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you look at footage back in the day, you see some Jive Turkeys members rocking Zulu Kingz, sweats or shirts.
Yep.
We actually have a shirt that says Jive Turkeys, had Zulu Kingz in it, so on and so forth. Now later on, as Jive Turkeys started to slow down, and some of them weren't repping anymore, and then so Ness privately, Ness and I spoke like, "Yo, I'm still down to rep. I'm still down to rep MZK." Now at that time, by 2006, 2007, I'm already 4 or 5 years into the game internationally. So obviously I have a lot of experience. And then that's when, the Ohio Cats start to really organize MZK, and we start doing battles together. So from this get-go, I knew that MZK had potential to be a dope-ass crew, just B-boy wise, B-girl wise. And that first battle we did was Evolution. I don't remember what year it was, but it was the year that we battled Gamble. 2007
to 2006. I can't remember. Yeah. Either late 2006 or early 2007.
Whatever that Evolution was, And actually, if we want to talk about the history of Evolution, the first Evolution that was ever thrown, myself and Gypsy One for Dallas, we were the ones that were helping Max put that together. So Gypsy ended up having to pull out. I couldn't be involved. But myself, Ronnie Machine ended up judging, and that's I think we got Red Bull in the mix for that first Evolution as well. So that's a part of the history and bringing Red Bull into local events, and Mex started doing events with Evolution. And of course, I knew Mex prior to that when he was coming to Texas, and I was traveling to Florida often. So we have history there as well.
Well, RIP to Brother Mex, good brother. Yeah, man. So, yeah, I remember that battle. I remember we came out versus Gamblers, right? And when they announced us, we were doing the 300 movie. What would we say? We're like, what time is it? Or something.
No, we're like, Zulu, what is your profession?
Yeah. Yo, that was hype. That was memorable.
yo, I wanted that battle so bad because I already had a rivalry with gamblers. I had a battle there. So we got flown out. We did a battle. It was called Dream Team battle, right? We were the Dream Team. We were the USA team. Yo, and we did a battle in France. And they announced each crew, each country, they came out with their flags, right? Yo, when the USA crew came out, we got booed. Like, what? By like 3,000 people, right? We get booed. Like, we don't even want to hold the flag up. You know, I'm like, yo, I'm Mexican, right? You know, people in Europe and France are like anti-Bush, so they're anti-American, so they're anti-us. We end up meeting gamblers in the finals, right? Everyone was cheering for gamblers, right?
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
The battle ends, they're like, tie.
Oh.
You guys are doing a tiebreaker, right?
Right.
Yo, the crowds, we start getting into it with the crowd. Matter of fact, like one of the last rounds that we do routine, the crowd is just booing us, and Ben from Knuckleheads, like, just throws the middle finger to the crowd, you know?
Right.
We end up getting in a tie. We're like, yo, if we win this, there's going to be a riot. People were throwing things, like throwing trash at us on the stage while we're
wild.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, there's footage, Jay. It's like the Battle of Massey or something, like 2005. So we do the tiebreaker, we lose. We're like, yo, thank God. Thank God. It would have been a riot. We probably would have got jumped or something, like, you know. So and then we ended up battling a couple of times before, you know, after that, you know. So I already had a rivalry with gamblers, and a lot of the Korean b-boys who at that time were like, you know, at the top.
Supposedly the top, right?
Yeah. So when we went to Evolution that year, I remember everyone saying like, "Yo, Gamblers is gonna win. Gamblers is gonna win."
I remember that.
So, then there was some heavy hitter crews there. You know, there was some heavy hitter crews, and everyone was like, "Yo, Gamblers is gonna win," and I'm like, "Yo." We came up with a game. We had a game plan going in. You know, everyone used their strengths in that battle. Ty had the first blow up of his career, the only blow up of his career, and we end up beating Gamblers first round. You know?
Yeah, I remember that. It was no holds bar. You know, at the time, Gamblers was like the top of the top, right? And like, hell no, they're not gonna come in.
Young b-boys came up not having to battle Gamblers, and it shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Gamblers came to Texas, and they won some.
They came to B-Boy Hoedown, and my crew, Jack Turkeys and Vicious Germs, battled them in the finals as well.
And then
I still feel that we got jerked. I feel like we won that battle, but we lost to them there.
Yeah.
Well. So we already had a rivalry.
Yeah, exactly. So we came in there like, nah, they can't come in the U.S. and start taking over.
Right.
And then when they announced, because honestly, the day before, we're like, man, hopefully, you know, we want Gamblers. Like, honestly, we wanted Gamblers. Like, Zulu Kingz, we're like, yo, somebody put us against Gamblers. We want these cats for real. And then when they announced it, MZK, or Gamblers versus MZK, we're like, oh, shit. That was wild, you know. I remember the atmosphere. It was like, a big, that was the finals, in my opinion. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
so that set off the rivalry between Gamblers and MZK, but it also set up the rivalry between like the more traditional, authentic, like, you know, whatever you know, people call b-boy style,
right?
Like the blow ups and tricks, you know.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was funny because I was like, MZK the power and blow ups and tricks and all that stuff. Like, we were always a pretty well-diverse and well-dynamic.
Well-rounded, well-rounded. So exactly. We just bring a different flavor, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that rawness. Like, you can just tell by the way we battle. It was that chemistry. It comes down to chemistry. You know, every round, we just like on some raw shit.
Right. And for me, that was my motivation. When I got done with MZK, that was my motivation, was the way they approached battle, the way we approached battles, because I had always been a battle cat. That's how it came up. Before I even started battling in ciphers, I was battling at practice. That's all we did was battle. I would get smoked. I would smoke someone, so on and so forth, right? But I'm going to earn your respect. You know, I always earn people's respect because I always step to them. And then obviously when I got better, it changes, right? Because people are like, yo, okay, now this kid is nice with it, you know? So I was always like an aggressive battle cat, or what people perceive like being an aggressive battle cat. But yo, I practiced my ass off. I trained my ass off. You have to understand, like, the events that were happening back then are not every single weekend all around the world, all year long, planned out for the next 2 or 3 years like it is now. So when you had that opportunity to shine, to showcase your talent on a big platform, yo,
it's like go time.
A feeding frenzy. Everyone going at it. You feel me? So I laugh now, like, looking back, I know, like, I got a rep, like, for the longest, like, yo, Omar's an asshole. He's mad mean, right? And then I meet people, like, outside of, like, the scene or outside of Breakin, they're like, yo, you're, like, mad chill. Like, I thought you were an asshole. And I'm like, that's just a battle, bro. Like, don't take that personally. It's just a battle. And after the battle, like, it's over. Like, I don't take things personally that happen in battles for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the difference, that rivalry that we had, you know, like, the rivalry that I had, like, that MZK had with gamblers, right? Like, the rivalry that
California.
Yeah, that we had with California.
And you and Ruin always go at it, right?
And, Lilu, me, us and Pokemon. Those rivalries really, like, was helping us push the envelope, because every time we saw each other, we're like, all right, it's us or them. Sometimes it was them, but we were always pushing that boundary, and we wanted to create, we wanted to innovate, and we wanted to showcase our talent, that, you know, that we were the best. So when we battled, that's what it was. And aside from that, like, Breakin was always my escape. It was always my outlet, right? Like, it was always my anti-drug to anything negative that was happening in my life. So when people see emotion, especially at a younger age, right, you have to remember, I'm like 16, 17, 18. I'm a kid still, right? So when people see all of this emotion, it's because those are the emotions of what is going on in my personal life. You know, so if I'm angry because things are not going well in my personal life, right? Because I grew up in poverty, right? I was poor when I was growing up, so I had a lot of frustration and anger and animosity and things that I needed to express. And what better platform than to do it in a battle, right? I'm not hurting anyone. For the most part, we're not getting physical. We're not fighting. You know, I'm not doing anything negative. I'm not selling drugs. I'm not pushing drugs. I'm not gangbanging. I'm not stabbing someone. I'm not shooting anyone. I'm being aggressive when I battle. And that's it. And after the battle's over. You feel me?
Yeah, you let all that frustration out.
Yeah, I let it all out. I let it all out. That was...
Yeah, and I think that was that chemistry that we all had, right? We all came from that.
Yeah.
You know, from nothing, and then we all vibe together, and just that rawness, you know, even when we walk into a gym, right? And you can just feel it, like, oh, snap, something's about to go down, you know? Yeah. And so that one thing, being on front line with you, honestly, as a crew member and as a brother, like, you gave me that confidence as well, you know? Like, okay, you know, when you go to war, your left, your right, like, you gotta, you know, your brothers gotta be there, and you gotta feel calm. You're like, oh, damn, okay, I got my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the thing, was that vibe, man, you know? And I feel like that's the crew essence. And I feel like...
it's the brotherhood. It's the brotherhood. It's the sisterhood that we established, right? And I remember, and you can ask Jules. Drop Jules. You know what I'm saying? Before that jam, I was like, yo, this is just the beginning. Right?
Right.
After that battle, yo, we had mad people hating us and talking shit online, right?
Yeah.
I specifically remember someone was like, yo, if MZK is so good, win a big event like Freestyle Session.
Freestyle Session.
Right? That's like, bet. Right? 2007, Freestyle Session 10-year anniversary. At the time, the biggest crew battle in history, the biggest crew battle in the world, MZK versus Gamblers in the finals. And we won again.
And then we got booed.
We got booed. Yo, and Kamel gets on the mic. He's like, yo, anyone who's trying to see us, come see us right now.
Yeah, when we jumped down on stage, right after that. Yeah. And then we're like, yo, let's get it popping. And no one stepped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the next day, the people pop online. We're like, yo, what's, yo, why didn't you battle? You know?
Some things never change because it's still.
Yeah, something never changed, right?
Off online, you know, like.
Word. Yeah, man. At the end of the day, I guess the moral of the story is, you know, yo, put in work on the front line, man. You know, like, don't be afraid of battle. The battle is part of being a B-boy and a B-girl. You know, even when you lose, and it's part of the process, you know, and especially when you battle with your brothers, your crewmate, it's just a whole different vibe, you know. So hopefully the new generation, I know there's a lot of one-on-ones, but, you know, bring your people up as well, you know, because I know sometimes I'm down, I look up to Omar like, yo, Omar, you know, and then vice versa, right? And all of us do the same thing in the crew, you know. If somebody down, we take over. At one point, you know, you had to take care of your family. And that's another topic, you know, we're going to go into is balancing that lifestyle with work, family, and breaking, you know. And at one point, you like, yo, crew, I'm going to fall back a little bit. I got to take care of my personal life. And that's okay. Yeah. And I think a lot of B-boys and B-girls nowadays are like, yo, if I fall back, that means I'm whack or I'm not important. But, priorities. So let's talk about that.
I think the difference now is that the scene moves so fast, right? It's like on a week-to-week basis, just like trends and things that are happening in the news, right? Who's popping this week? What song and album is popping this week? Who passed away this week?
Yeah.
Everyone is writing these trends and these waves, so they feel like, you know, if I don't post footage or if I don't go to jams, I'm whack and I fell off. No, if you're talented, you're talented. You know, you're still there. For me, I think one of the most important parts of battling, as far as like learning how to battle, is really getting those rounds in ciphers, man. You know, get those rounds in at practice. Get those rounds in ciphers, especially at practice. Go rounds. Like you go rounds. Yo, I have people who come train in my garage who will give me the business sometimes. Some rounds, right?
It's that sparring.
And yeah, it's like sparring. I'm like, yo, it don't count. Like, yo, I got you. I'm like, yeah, you got me. Like, it don't matter. It's practice. That's what practice is for.
Right.
You know? I'm like, call me out in a jam. It's a whole different story, you know? But the thing is that's where you sharpen your blades. That's where you sharpen your skills. That's where you know what you can and what you can't do. That's where you learn to adapt. That's where you learn to work around when you're sweaty, when you're tired, when you're winded. Yeah, shout out to my boy D Loco. You know, D Loco is actually one of my young boys here in San Antonio, who's a dope street performer and also one of the kids here in town who we be going rounds with. You know, my boy D Loco, my boy Cascado, and Benny, and my homegirl Vanity. We're really the ones, you know, who train here, at least with me personally. And they push me. They push me. But sharpen your blades. That's where you want to get that experience in, right? Because what I see nowadays, for me, like someone who's been in the scene for 20 years, and I've came and gone for personal reasons, because of injuries, and I'm like, yo, and I can still, you know, I'm still up there, hanging with some of the best of them. I'm definitely not gonna say I'm like the top 5, you know, in the world anymore at all, because I know my limits and my boundaries. But I will say that experience goes a long ways, you know. So when I battle these younger cats who maybe have every advantage over me, right? They have youth, right? They have newer moves, or the newer moves that are in right now, so on and so forth, right? I fall back on my experience, right? So it's just muscle memory to me, man. It's making those decisions in those moments and those instincts,
just like that.
Calculated risk if and when I need to win a round. The biggest difference for me are that the battles are a lot shorter now. So when I was coming up, if I'm doing a 5 or 10 round battle, it gives me time to analyze and to download my opponent. Now I know what to do. I know how to counter, or if I'm going first, or what I need to do. Now battles are like 1 round, so you don't really get that chance to download your opponent. So sometimes you have to have multiple battles with that person, and then you're like, oh, okay, like now I see their approach, now I see what they're doing, right? If you have, for for those people who are like really into battling, like I am, you know, read The Art of War. That's an ultimate book for battling, right? And just life lessons in general. And also, of course, Ness's book, The Art of Battle. You know, like, these are the people that I came up battling with, right? You know, I look to my left, it's K-Mel. I look to my right, it's Celia Ness. I look behind me, it's War Phantom. I look in front of me, it's Casper. You feel me? At that point, I'm not even worried about the opponents. I'm worried about not looking whack in front of these guys. You feel me?
Right.
But I have that experience. You know, I have that experience of being on the forefront and being the general in battles and calling the shots and calling the routines and making those decisions. And, you know, I think that's something that the younger generation now needs to practice more if they really want to not just be successful at a competitive level in competitions, but really leave their mark. You know, at the end of the day, you're going to win, you're going to lose, right? Trophies and belts, whatever you receive, are going to collect dust. The prize money is going to get spent, right? So the only thing that you really have left is the contributions that you make and leave in the dance and leave in your mark that can, you know, be around forever after you're gone. You know, how many people are you influencing or you teaching or you inspiring? That's really what's going to last. And that's how you last forever in the game.
Yes, that's the purpose, man. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing with nowadays, you know, people just, I don't know, outside of battlefield, people like to diss each other just to destroy each other, right? And not really build. Like, when I remember when we were coming up, even though we had those rivalry with California and stuff, we would still be chill with him, right? Like, we would talk to Little Rock, we would talk to Ruin, like, but when we step on that battlefield, it's like, yo, you know, it's on and popping, you know? Yeah. So I think
the other thing's very basic. Okay, this is very basic, y'all. Something that people need to understand. We were a lot younger back then, right? So when you see us and we act differently now as opposed to then, yes, I absolutely hope so. I hope so that at the age of 33, I'm acting way differently and way more mature than I was when I was like 16, 17, 18, 19. Because now I'm a man. And then I was a child, I was a teenager, you know? So, of course, you mature and you become an adult and your perspective on things change. Your reason and your logic abilities develop and you make better judgment and better decisions. And I think it should be that way for everyone, you know?
Yeah, you should see that growth, right?
Yeah. Growth, bro.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I just, you know, some people never, you know, had that growth. They just stay the same as if they were, you know, 10, 20 years ago. And it's like, yo, come on, man. You know what I mean? But let's talk about, you know, how to balance your personal life and breaking, right? Of course, you know, you have your job, wherever which, you know, you got the 401k, you got the medical, if something happened to you, you got this, you know, you able to have surgery, etc. Right. A lot of B-boys, they need to understand it's okay to have a career outside of breaking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not just focus. If that's your route, cool, but don't expect, like, you know, once you get injured, you got to have something to back you up. Because once you're injured, if you think about it, once you're injured and breaking, you don't have that money to have that surgery. I mean, you're going to be out for a long time, you know? So in my opinion, I think you balance that perfectly because you're able to, you know, do your thing, you know, in your professional career. And on the side, at the same time, you're able to still fulfill what you want to do in the breaking world, right? Like, you still go to jam. I mean, you're going to be a Rebel BC1 Houston, you know, like that's the thing. Jams are usually on the weekends anyways, right? Right. And so you're able to balance that, of course, with your family. So tell us a little bit about that, if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak from my personal opinion on things and, like, my personal experiences. So just a little background. I mean, first and foremost, the number one and number two things that have ever kept me out of breaking were, one, the birth of my daughter, Amira, which was born in November 2009. Right. And the birth of my son, Nicholas, who was born in July. 2014, and then injuries. You know, so injuries that I've had over the years, obviously multiple sprains and pulls and bruises, cuts. But then I also, I've had a broken ankle. I've had a bruised ribs. I had a broken right hand. I've had a torn labrum with damage to my rotator cuff. So those are serious injuries. So anytime I stepped away, it was basically because of those two things. So number one, I prioritize. What's important in my life, right? I'm at a point and at an age in my 30s, I'm 33, where my children, my son and my daughter, are my priority over Breakin, right? I'm also at a point in my age where my career is a priority over Breakin. You know, my family is a priority over Breakin. And let me explain to you why my family is a part of Breakin. Because I sacrificed for years and years and years, right? I missed birthdays and anniversaries and funerals when I was invested into Breakin 100%. So those things are my priorities now. Spending time with my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my parents, that's a priority. So the first thing that I do is I prioritize, right? The second thing that I do is I try to make a decision in managing my time wisely, right? So as far as my balance goes, the amount of time that I invest in Breakin, one is not to be successful in competitions or to prove anything else to anyone other than myself. It's because it's a tremendous workout, and it's a great way for me to stay fit and healthy, not only physically but also mentally, right? And also because it's just fun, right? So that's something that I think people don't get. Like, once you start doing this for such a long time, you really have to still enjoy it. It's not my job. I'm not a full-time b-boy. I was joking earlier in one of the posts, right? I'm like, yo, it's going to be a part-time b-boy conversation. I'm a
part-time b-boy.
You know? I don't have that lifestyle anymore. I think it is amazing that there are people who can live that lifestyle. And I feel proud because I feel that I at least had some influence or paved some of that way to open those doors, right? Or to cause those ripples that now gives people the opportunity. It's amazing. And when I see these people or I compete against them, I always tell them, like, hey man, thank you for what you guys are doing, for what the new generation is doing, for carrying that torch, for inspiring me, you know? Now, as far as like what my personal balance is like, I first and foremost I just try to stay healthy, you know. So I follow a macro diet, flexible diet. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but if you have follow the Break Free podcast with and watch the episode with Moy, Eric, and Rob, and they break down the whole macro lifestyle and the flexible dieting, and it's super healthy, guys. And I encourage for all of y'all to look into that health as well. So I try to have a healthy lifestyle, and then I practice a couple times a week just to stay physically fit, maintain, and have fun. And then if I have a battle coming up or a competition that I'm competing in, then I get more strict. So I'll be strict for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what I have going on. I'll be strict on my diet. I'll be strict on my training regimen. And then I just go out there and do my best. So.
Yeah, just like a boxer, right?
That's really what it is. You know?
Yeah, basically.
And for me, not that I don't enjoy it. I would love to be more involved, truthfully, right? I would love to be more involved and to be given more opportunities. It's just sometimes the opportunities that are provided to me, they just don't make financial sense for me as a father to lose money from my career, to, you know, travel to another country or across the world, to be judge or teach or speak on panels when I'm, you know, losing financial gain, and that's the way and means that I support my children. So I'm thinking of their financial and my financial future, and also their upbringing and well-being. So my priority is to give them a better life than I had, and to set them off at a higher platform. So when they become adults, it's a little bit easier for them, and they also have more opportunities. So,
right.
But I b-boy because I still love it. You know, the day I don't love breaking anymore, I'm tired. You know,
exactly.
And Tyquan will tell you, I joke, I'm like, yo guys, like, please don't let me break, like, when I'm like in my 50s. You know, and yo, it's not a diss, all right?
Right.
Or anyone takes it the wrong way, because I know how the internet is, right? It's not a diss. It's just that for me, in life, everything comes and goes, and there's a time to move on, right? Mm-hmm. For me, my prime, I will say my prime, as far as competing every weekend, judging every weekend, teaching workshops, sitting on all these panels every weekend, is over. Mm-hmm. And let these younger b-boys who are dedicated 100%, who are practicing every day, who are living that lifestyle, have those opportunities.
Let them have it, right.
Yeah, I'm not here to rob anyone of the opportunities. Matter of fact, what I try to do, and specifically with MZK, and people who I have handpicked, or I have had a role in picking to be a part of MZK, and that's not only just the b-boys, right? Because I've had my hands in everything that happens with MZK, whether it's an MC getting down, a writer getting down, one of
a DJ, right?
A b-boy or a b-girl, is to provide them with a platform and an opportunity, and provide them with the knowledge and the experiences that we have had.
Yeah, help develop them.
And succeed and do the same for others.
Yeah. See, that's the thing a lot of people don't know about the inside politics with MZK, right? And how we roll. Like, yo, what? Instagram gonna stop us. I'm gonna come back on. Everybody rejoin, and this is a great talk, Omar. You dropping gem. So let me rejoin, and we'll go from there. All right. Checo. Check.
Job crew. Double Canaris.
Them jobs.
Nah, bro, we can't.
Can you play some low Uzi? I want some low Uzi.
No,
what track you want low Uzi, man?
The Rico. Vila. What up?
Hey. Yeah, alright. Play some low Uzi. Hold up.
That boy Canaris Rex. Yo, if you don't know Canaris, that boy can fall asleep everywhere. Don't sleep on him.
Here we go.
That boy Marcos. What up, Marcos?
Alright.
Killing hip hop, bro. I'm killing hip hop.
There we go, Rad. Rad
Killing hip hop too, bro.
Yo, shouts to everyone for joining. Okay, everybody in this joint. Word up.
What up, main event?
Main event, what up? It's for you, main event.
You still broke, you ain't back. No strings attached.
Main event, New York City, Brooklyn. What up?
Spain.
It's 4 a.m. in Spain. Oh, word. Shout to España. What city you in Spain?
Hey, what up?
Steezy. Yo, so let's get back to the conversation, man. Yeah, basically putting on younger cats, you know, it ain't about us anymore, you know, it's about the new generation, and even within the crew and even outside the crew, like you vibe and train with the younger guys, you know what I'm saying, right. and all that. So in a way, them valuing you kind of help them too, right? Develop their skill set, etc. So, yo, what up, Stead? Yeah, and that's the thing, like for the cats in our age bracket, right? I mean, I'm gonna turn 38, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, why do I need I gotta be this and that? Like, nah, man, if a young buck have the opportunity, I'd rather pass that opportunity to them and get them on, you know, and assist or help, you know, or give advice, you know.
Yeah, so I guess we can get into that time. We can talk a little bit about the business aspect of things. And
yeah.
Again, so disclaimer, everyone, like, I can only speak on my opinions and my own personal experiences, right? I'm not a full-time B-boy. I have a career. I'm an associate program director for a program called Services to At-Risk Youth. So we provide free counseling services, case management services, parent education, and crisis intervention to families who are at risk, who have children between the ages of 6 through 17 here in San Antonio, Texas. So that's my profession. That's what I do on a daily basis. You know, this is my hip hop, my b-boy appearance, which is, you know, what I'm comfortable with, what I'm lax with. But on a daily basis, I'm a professional, and I go to work, and I manage a staff of people, and work for a nonprofit and help manage a budget of over $1 million on a yearly basis. So now,
yeah, man,
I've been around, obviously, and involved in the breaking scene for a long time, and have been advocating behind the scenes to try to make improvements to the scene. I'm not one to go and boast and talk about and leave all these opinions on Facebook all the time. And if you see me post something, a lot of times I'm sarcastic, I'm joking, or it's just like a thought that came to my head, and I don't put a lot of thought as far as like how I'm articulating everything on social media. And that's because I believe it's a poor form of communication. Texting and a 15-minute video, a 15-second video, or a post on Facebook, I think is poor communication. So now that I have the platform right now, we can definitely get into it, Ty. We can talk about it.
Yeah. So let's talk about we're getting into that route. Like we're at the age where, you know, we want to educate the young upcoming cats, because the business aspect, you know, and the professionalism got to be there, right? You can't act, you know, I mean, it's just bad just to destroy all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a thin line for everything, you know, when it comes to certain aspect of the game. Right now, there's corporate, you know, coming in, and, you know, the scene is not like, in a way, it's not like real street anymore, right? So you can't expect like everybody be on that street vibe all the time. And that's the cards that have been dealt with, you know what I'm saying? With,
right.
You know, with how the scene evolved, right? And so, I feel like the younger cats gotta understand, you know, professionalism is very important in this. You know, one thing is to battle, you know, and that's the thing, leave it all out on the floor. At the same time, off the floor is about professionalism. It's about how you build with people, you know? Yeah. So let's get into that.
I'm gonna be pretty blunt here, and maybe I'll catch some heat for saying this, but I think first and foremost, one of the things that B-boys and B-girls need to stop doing in the scene is stop having the expectation that that your favorite B-boy or B-girl, or that a very talented B-boy or B-girl is going to be professional. So I think that's the expectation. The expectation is that pioneers or legends in the game, or people who have innovated the game, or who are dope, should be the ones at the reins, handling everything at a professional level, and that's just not how it works in professionalism, you know? I think of me, for example, if I'm going to hire a new individual, there's going to be an interview process, right? So that interview process would never include how good are you at breaking.
Right.
Never.
Right.
You know, so you have to remember that someone's talent or passion or hobby, or even if they're doing it for a career, does not automatically make them a good professional. So I want to get that out there in the clear. The second thing that I think that the scene needs to be worried about is a conflict of interest, right? So again, I can only speak on my personal opinion and my experiences, but being behind the scenes and having my hand and you know, and ears involved in a lot of things that have gone on in the scene for the last 20 years, I can tell you that, you know, things happen behind the scenes that the scene doesn't know about. So, you know, I think the scene should not be a monopoly where it's a handful of people making decisions and dictating the direction where hip hop or breaking is going to go globally, right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, if someone sits on the board, right? If they sit on the board that's going to be making decisions, then they cannot in turn hire themselves or reap benefits such as receiving monetary compensation. So there's a conflict of interest in that in my professional experience. And I think that over time we need to, instead of looking for the dope B-boys and B-girls or dope dancers or dope hip-hop heads to be professionals, I think we need to look at people who are already in the scene who may not be the best B-boy or B-girl or dancer, but are actually professionals. Because if you look in the scene, there are already a lot of people who are professionals outside of breaking that can take those talents and include them and have influence in the scene and make positive differences. The thing is, we think like, well, no, you can't come in and tell us what to do because you're not dope, or you haven't paid your dues, or you haven't won enough battles, or blah, 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 right? And that's to me, a very childish mentality because what that person can bring to the table is something that could potentially be beneficial to the rest of the scene, not only at a local, a stateside, national, but maybe even a global level. And we need to appreciate that and use those professionals, So those are like my two disclaimers of the things that I see going on here in the scene. The other thing is do not be afraid to get involved. If you don't want to be involved, you really can't say much. Like the saying goes, if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And me, myself, being that I supervise people, when people come to me with a problem, I also expect them to come to me with two solutions, right? So if there's an issue, if there's a problem with the scene and we want to fix it, and you have the ability to fix it, you have the know-how how to fix it, it does not matter how dope you are at breaking, okay? Bring that idea to the table, make your voice heard, and it's up to people like us who have influence to then use our platform to bring this person to light, to bring their valid points to attention, and hopefully give birth to ideas that are going to make changes and evolve the scene in a positive direction. But just waiting around for your favorite B-boy or your favorite B-girl or your favorite promoter or your favorite DJ or whatever to fix everything, it's never going to happen. It's an unrealistic expectation that we have had for far too long, okay? And I'm not saying just for my generation, I'm talking about generations before. If we have issues that have been around for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years.
Something's wrong, man.
And you still think that your favorite B-boy from B Street is going to fix that?
Nah.
I think they would have figured it out already. You feel me? So it's up to us to see that change. We need to really to make that change. Now, Ty, what do you want to get into as far as the business aspect of it? What approach you want to take?
I mean, let's keep them raw. I mean, quit that lowballing yourself.
Okay.
Let's get into that.
This is my personal opinion. You do not get what you are worth. You will get what you can negotiate. If you do not have any negotiation skills, meaning you are not a negotiation professional, meaning you don't have experience negotiating on your behalf or for other people or for an agency or a company or something, then you need to have someone that represents you in a professional manner that knows negotiation in and out. Okay? Number one. Number two, if you have nothing to fall back on, it makes it a lot harder to negotiate. And let me tell you why. For example, let's say I recently got an offer to go to China to judge, right? It was going to be a one-man gig. I was going to judge the entire event by myself, and then they also wanted me to do an exhibition battle, right? So this is what I take to account. Number one, the work that they're requesting for me to do. Number two, the amount of time it's going to take. Number three, the amount of time that I'm going to be away from my employment, from my family, and my children. Those are the top three things that I look at, right? Then I look at the compensation. How much money am I going to lose by losing out on work, right? am I going to have to use my PTO time or my vacation time, which is actually worth more than the dollars my company pays me. And this is the reason. Because not only am I losing on the day of work, I'm losing out on the quality time that I could be spending with my children or my family. And that's a lot more worth, right? So if this event cannot even match that, then there's a high probability that I'm going to pass on that event and not go. And then the opportunity then gets passed on to a younger B-boy who has more aspirations, more time, that can go fill that seat and do that gig and be compensated pretty well, right? Now, I can negotiate that and I can say no because I have a backup. If you do not have a backup, right? If you do not have a backup plan, a lot of times you cannot afford to negotiate or to say no, right? So, and Tyquan can speak on this also. Recently, actually, a lot of the past big gigs that you have seen me do, my initial response was to turn the gig down, okay? The initial offer, I turned it down. Then we opened up terms for negotiation, right? And so my manager, Eric Kodak, gets involved, and we negotiate better terms, right?
Right.
So what I do as an artist is, first and foremost, I have to respect myself as an artist, so I need to be compensated. Now, again, if you have no experience reviewing waivers, if you have no experience reviewing contracts, right? If you don't do that for a living, if you don't have experience doing it, have someone who does look at that stuff. That is the investment you are making in yourself and your future, right? So this is a big difference, right? Let's say, for example, someone books a gig for $500. Dope. Now they book a couple of gigs for $500 separately, right? So now in 4 events, they made, $1,000, which, hey, that's not bad, especially if you're a young and upcoming dancer, right?
Right.
But if I book one event and I make, 2, 3, or 4 times that amount, who's really losing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
The person who is negotiating a lower rate is the one losing out. And I'll tell you this from experience because I'm also a promoter, right? So my job as a promoter is to negotiate the lowest rate that person is willing to take. Okay? Now, I come from this scene, right? I have experience in the scene. I respect it. So I would never try to just completely lowball someone. Okay? I wouldn't even ask. But I will negotiate a lower rate that I think is fair. Okay? When it comes to negotiation, if you want to negotiate, okay, never be first in putting a number out there. If you want to negotiate, okay? And this is why. Let's say, for example, you want to be compensated $500, okay? $500. So you get an email or a phone call or a text or something, and the company says, hey, we want to hire you to do this. We really love what you do. You're really great. And, how much would you charge? Right?
Right.
That company had a budget of $1,500, right?
Right.
And you're like, $500. Right? And that company,
Right.
yo,
Like, yes.
$500? Absolutely.
Right.
Bring some friends.
Right. Man.
So,
Yep.
it's really a game of experience. You have to learn how to negotiate and learn at what you're reading as far as waivers and contracts. Now, here's the thing. If you're ignorant to that, can't help you. You feel me? If you know this and you're still lowballing yourself, or you're not investing to have someone review your documents, or your contracts, or negotiate on your behalf, can't help you. You feel me? And that then becomes a trend and has a long-lasting ripple effect in the scene that is going to bring down the rates in breaking and hip hop and in our community. So the whole goal is for us to be compensated as artists, right? athletes, b-boys, breakdancers, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, to be compensated at a respectable rate, at a respectable level. Okay? If you always lowball yourself, you just set your own value. So if you always charge $250, right? And this corporation comes and they got a $10,000 budget, you're not even going to know how to negotiate to $10,000. You're not even going to know what to do with that money because you've never been compensated that amount of money. You understand me? So for me, I come and go as I please in the scene, right? I also think that there's two different types of values right now that I see. Again, my personal opinion, my personal experience. One is popularity and trend. So you're you're constantly in the public eye, constantly. You're trending. You're popular. People know who you are. You're at all the events. You're judging. You're staying busy. You're consistent, right? And that in turn gives you more work, right? And then for me, the other side, which is the side that I tend to lean to more, is being exclusive, right? So being like, okay, I'm an exclusive artist. I don't just go to every single event. I don't just judge every single jam. I don't do any single battle, right? So since I'm more of an exclusive artist, my rate may be different from the artists you see at every other event.
Right.
And that's how I look at things. And then obviously, I have someone negotiate on my behalf, so that I put, a middleman or someone between me and that other individual or organization or corporation or whoever's looking to hire me. So the only exception is when I am doing some sort of community work. Okay. It's sad, but I think I've never added it up, but it's probably over $100,000 of free work that I've done over 20 years, probably more. But if I support a cause, I'm going to support that cause. Because
exactly.
I'm investing my time into something that I believe in. That's the culture, right? Now, as far as donating my time, this past weekend was 6 years that I volunteered at a child abuse prevention event. 6 years in a row, volunteer my time. When I want to volunteer my time, I go and volunteer at the men's jail here in Bear County. That's how I volunteer my time. Okay? But don't expect me to don't expect or demand my talent or my artistry, right? Which I have 20 years in experience of, for free, because that's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, I mean that you just gotta balance it out, man. When they deal with big corporate or sponsorship or any big companies, or an event with so many big sponsors, you're allowed to negotiate, But if you're working at a local community, they want you to come out and you're like, no, what's your budget is like? And no, I want to get paid $1,000. And it's like, whoa, hold up, man. Come on. You got to know, different tiers, right? So there's different tiers that on my end is that there's different tiers. There's the big corporate, and there's the, the large, semi-big events, and there's the local ones, And so the local ones, those are the ones that, you give up your time and you help, your locals and build it up, and, you build with the young bucks coming up, But like the big ones, read them contracts. Don't sign your rights away. And here's my input on that, right? When it comes to these corporations, and it's a business. This is all business. There's nothing personal. This is strictly business. When it comes to waivers and all that, really read those waivers, y'all. Really read it line by line. If you don't, hire somebody. Hodak management. For real, just hire somebody that knows, that knows your rights. They can say, hey, we want to hire you for $1,000. You're like, oh, dang, $1,000. Okay, food and everything's provided. Okay, cool. Word, I'm going to sign it. But what you don't know is when you get there, they're going to interview you. They're going to basically sign away those services, you know, for $1,000.
Right.
When judging, showing up is a fees, right? Showing up is a fees.
Right.
You're providing a service to judge is a fees. You're providing a service to workshop is a fees. You're providing signing your rights away. That's the biggest fees of them all, because that's your copyright. That's your, you know, that's you as a brand. You know what I'm saying?
That's the equivalent to an artist owning the rights to their own music.
To the masters.
Yeah, owning your masters.
Right.
That's the equivalent. Whereas a dancer, as an artist, is owning the rights of your image. How much is your image worth? Are you going to allow a company or a corporation or an individual in the scene dictate and tell you how much you are worth? Or are you going to tell them, look, this is my worth, this is my value, and this is what I expect to be compensated? Because you set that ballpark range, you know, low and high, you're going to set it. And if not, you're allowing someone else to dictate that on you.
Yeah. So signing your rights over, a.k.a. signing your masters over for MCs. You know what I'm saying? $4,000? Nah, man. And on top of that, you got to interviews, be part of panel discussion. So you have to break those down as services that you're providing. If you look at yourself as professional, just like any business, right? If you go to a car washing company, they want to detail your car. They got the basic, they got the, you know, the gold package, they got the platinum, you know, they got the extra platinum. Yeah. You gotta package yourself, right? Hey, are you asking me as the judge? Okay, that's it, right? You're not gonna videotape me, interview me, put my footage up. Oh, you're gonna get some footage of me. Okay, so you using that as for, you know, promotion and stuff? And that's when, you know, you can use as leverage to negotiate your fees, you know, to up your fees. You know what I'm saying? So, Vix, we're talking about professionalism. That's not your ballpark, so you can log off, man. Nah, I'm playing. Yo, shouts to Vapors. What up? Yeah, man, it's just different tiers, you know. It's not just judging. It's the fact that you go in there, or you provide a workshop. You know, are they trying to interview you? You know, are they using your footage for promoting purposes and so on, right? So as an artist, you got to know all these little different tiers of services that you're providing them, and you can charge a fees. And most of the time, you know, I usually advise people to give them a range, you know, and always go high. Like Omar said earlier, you might have $500, but they might have a $15,000 budget. You don't know that, you know? Yep. So ask them, give me the details, you know? Let them come with the number first, and then based on your, you know, level of services that they're asking you to do, that's when you give them a range. Don't give them just one number. Give them a range, you know? Well, you know, based on, you know, what I'm worth is about $6,000 to $7,000. You know, like, just give them a range. And if they have it, they have it. If they're not, then that's when you meet somewhere in the middle, you know?
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, you got to start with the number that you're down to do it for, right? Once they give you a number, say, you know, a $10,000 budget, you'll be like, okay, the lowest I can go is at maybe $5,000. Based on what Omar said earlier, right?
Right.
Is this, you know, my time, my PTO, you know, am I getting this gig? If I stay home, I can make $3,000, right? If I take this gig, it's got to be at least $3,000 or more. You get what I'm trying to say? So the lowest, you want to hit the ballpark around $3,000. But when you negotiate with them, you want to go high, like maybe $6,000 to $7,000, right? And then maybe they can meet you in the middle about $4,500 or $5,000. You know, and so on. That's just numbers game. And if they can go lower, like, well, I can offer $3,500. You're like, okay, cool. At the end of the day, you still, you know, your lowest you can go is $3,000. You expect to get paid $3,000. Now you're getting $3,500, right? So in a way, it's basically, you know, you want to be fair with the other people too, and that's the professional side of it, right?
want to do a good business. Respect yourself and respect the the individual or the company or corporation that you're doing business with. I think the other thing when it comes to business, aside from your compensation, the other thing that you can negotiate is the writing, right? The writing in a waiver or in a contract. So maybe willing to take lesser compensation so long as you can amend something into your contract or into your waiver, that gives you exclusive rights, or they need to request your permission, or they need to compensate you in the event that they want to use your footage for social media marketing or a commercial or whatever it may be. Now, if you're just signing a contract or a waiver and it's a complete buyout and you feel you got lowballed, like I said earlier, it's no one's fault but your own. I'm the type of individual, I like to learn. If I don't know something, I'm going to try to educate myself. But more than anything, I'm going to ask someone who has that expertise, right? So at work, I manage my group of staff. If they come to me with a question and I don't know the answer, I'm not going to lie to them. I'm going to say, that's a great question. I don't know that question. But I'm going to check with my superiors, right? So I'm going to go to my boss and the people above me, and I'm going to ask that question. So now I'm being educated and I'm learning something, right? And then I can go and answer my team and also educate them. And that's what we need to be doing in the B-boy community, the bigger community. So I think one of the things that divides us is that if the mass majority is going in one direction, right? So if 90% of the people are just signing off on everything without reading it, without having anyone review it, without negotiating, then the mass majority of the scene is liable to being compensated less. And that makes it difficult when people who do have experience in negotiating, trying to get the rate that they really deserve. So
yeah. Basically, what Omar is saying, if you have 90% so-called market, right, lowball himself, that's what the corporate their expectation of the next man is gonna be on that level.
They might base their budget for the next quarter or the next half fiscal year or the next entire fiscal year based on what they paid those B-boys or those B-girls at that one event, right? So you have to know that these companies or corporations, they have they have
budget.
goals, they have budgets, they have quarterly budgets, they have local, national, international budgets. They have budgets that are coming from different areas of one corporation, which is an umbrella. And so you have to know that if everyone is lowballing and they base the budget off that low ball, guess what? Next year, it doesn't matter if 5 of you had an epiphany and now you know your worth. They're going to be like, we don't have the budget. And then the scene is like, I'm insulted. It's like, no, you shouldn't be insulted.
Proactive all along. Right.
Embarrassed when you lowballed yourself and you set that rate, not knowing. So we need to do better. If there's an event for 16 individuals or 8 individuals, doesn't matter if they're B-boys or they're B-girls, I think the mass majority needs to be on the same page and say, look, this is going to be our ballpark range. And I can only speak for myself and say that I have been advocating this for years. Since 2005, the first time that I can remember, as far as with the corporation. And more recently, in some of the events that are going to be coming out and happening, that I'm not even competing in. I'm not even battling in these events. I just want for artists to be compensated at a respectable level, even if I'm not being compensated at that level, But we need to start making these smart investments into our scene, our community, and into the younger dancers who are going to have a much larger platform, specifically now that it looks like Breakin is going to be in the 2024 Paris Olympics. We really need to get it together. And the formula is not always looking at what has worked to get us here, right? It's bending the rules and breaking the rules to allow innovation so that we can move forward. and and raise that you know, that pay or that compensation that we're receiving as artists.
Yeah, man, that's the way to do it. But at the end of the day, it comes down to each individual's. You know, if you don't value your art, but then you getting paid $200, but then you getting flown out to like 10 event, and you're trying to like show up on online, but come home broke. Like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? You just selling a false fantasy lifestyle, and then the next generation comes up, they're gonna say, "Oh, I want to get flown." That's so-called success, right? For the big boy and big girl, right? But in a way, we selling a false lifestyle, and that's why we've been advocating, like, yo, that's just a false lifestyle. If the whole point, if you're gonna get flown out everywhere, your bag's got to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money's got to be right. You know, don't take no $100 gig and get flown out to 20 places. Right. Yo, like, come on, really? You know?
And you really have to have people that you trust. You really have to have a solid team, people that you trust, or someone that knows business. Because I can tell you from experience that there are people who have been in the scene for a long time, who have had influence, who are still in the scene, who at times said were advocating for me or trying to advise on my behalf, and weren't doing, you know, anything for me. So I remember when I first started traveling, right? I remember one of the promoters for one of the teams we're on was like, "Yo, you can't charge $400 or $500 an event, because then no one's gonna want to fly you out." And I was like, "Word. So how do I pay my bills?"
Right.
And then I remember for another event, for a pretty big event that I was requested to compete in on an international level. One of the middlemen who was a promoter in the scene was saying, you know, wrote this long email talking about how their main priority is the B-boys, and they've been promoting this long. And at the end of the day, they were basically like, "You should just take the deal," right? And we did it. You know, I didn't take the deal. We didn't take the deal. We were able to negotiate. We were actually able to move that individual to the side, and we got to negotiate with the person who was actually in charge, and I got compensated, you know, better. So don't trust people in the scene, or don't expect them to be professionals based off of their skills and their talents at what they do. So because someone is a dope promoter does not mean make them a good advisor or a manager. Because someone is a dope B-boy or B-girl does not make them a dope advisor or manager, right? Because someone is dope at something does not make them dope at something else. So you really have to know someone, have a solid team, you know, people who specialize in that area.
Right. Yeah, man, I agree with you. And so hopefully those are the gems. Hopefully, you know, especially younger generation, because I think this era, you're going to see more and more companies coming in, and more jams, more sponsorship, etc. I mean, from Europe to Asia, even US, you know, it's happening. More opportunities than when we were coming up, right? And here's another advice that I have. It's like, stop being a lazy artist when it comes to being creative, meaning off the floor, right? So when you battle, and that's you. If you're nice, people are gonna know about you. Just say Omar, right? Omar's name rings bell. You know what I'm saying? Who's, you know, any new upcoming cats, y'all, you know, put in that work on the battlefield. So that's number one, numero uno. Number two, off the battlefield, bro, you're an artist. Be creative with your brand.
Right.
Have some type of, you know, brand management. Manage yourself, or have people to manage for you. You know, hey, invest in yourself. If you really think about it, think of you as an entrepreneur. You're trying to grow a business, which is your small business, which is yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Your own brand.
So you have like 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers, especially the new cats, and you don't have a product to sell to your supporters.
Right.
Bro, you're missing out big time. Why are you waiting? You know, build up your personal brand, what have you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Stop being lazy. Just don't think that everything gonna be handed to you. You you know, as a B-boy or B-girl as success because you're getting flown out everywhere. Nah, you got to continue staying put in work. And you know, it's a free market, y'all. Like, bro, like, just don't think, oh, I'm just going to judge and that's it, or I'm going to battle and that's it, or I'm going to go win this jam and that's it. It's like, dude, while you're doing that, you're already creating a clout for yourself. How come, you know, put out something for your supporter? But I mean, look at Ness, right? Ness don't even go to battles no more, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's selling that book, though. He's moving them books. Every time, sold out. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. You know? If you know, you got to think of those opportunities for yourself, you know? So, and no one's going to create the opportunities. You got to create them. Yeah. And that's the key point, right? Because I feel like everybody is like complaining nowadays, right? Oh, so-and-so, I got to be this, you know? It's like, what are you doing for yourself? How come you're not creating a platform or opportunities for yourself? Right. Why you got to wait for somebody else to do that for you? You know what I'm trying to say? So stop thinking that somebody got to do it for you. You got to do it yourself. Yeah. You got to have that hustle mentality, you know? So that's the one thing that I noticed. Like, when we were coming up, everybody was hustling a videotape, right? Yeah. Everybody had the camcorder. All the B-boys come through, edit their own videos, sell it. Yep. What happened to that? How come people don't sell their own, you know, shirts or, you know? Huh?
YouTube happened. So,
I mean, and that's the thing, like, you just got to know how to, look at Wiggles, man. He got his own clothing line. Even, you know, when he draws something up, he can sell his art. You know, it's just so many things as an artist, man. Like, you got to create those opportunities, you know, and build up your brand, you know, as yourself. You know, just think yourself, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of so-called hardcore B-boys, like, oh, I'm from the streets, this and that. Like, first of all, I'm from the streets, too. So, and that's where I get that hustle mentality. You know what I'm saying? So, you say you're from the streets, you should at least, in a way, agree with me. Like, yo, you got to make these opportunities, make it for you. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the thing that I feel like, oh, you doing that, you faking the fun. It's like, no, not really. Are you paying my bills? You know? like, you can say all that, but I can give you my bills. Are you going to pay for it? If you're not, then shut up. You know, I'm creating my own opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man. Like, stop being lazy as an artist. B-boys and B-girls, at the end of the day, you know, you got to look at yourself as an artist, as an entity, as your own brand, you know, and build it up, man. You know? And the only way to build it up is you got to put in work. Don't expect everybody to do it for you. Yes, there's stands, there's other... And they put quality stuff out there, and that's even better, right? They, in a way, branding yourself for you, you know? And so, yo, if you already have a product in place, that's even better for you, you know? So just think about it, yo. You know, I'm just giving a different viewpoints and how y'all can, like, move, you know, in this day and age. And so, yeah, I mean... Hopefully y'all can, you know, get a lot of gems from this conversation between Omar and I, because we really care about the new generation, you know, from the battle mindset to being professional to knowing your worth, knowing your rights, you know. So, man, get at us if you kind of like have some questions. Yo, we on Instagram. His Instagram is Omar MZK. My personal one is Tyquan MZK, Tyquan MZK, and just hit us up, you know. Yeah. And if we can reply, we reply. You know, just be patient with us. You know what I'm saying? But we get like 1,000 messages. Like, man, hold up. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, just move smart. That's all I'm saying. Right. You know, and stop, you know. And stop all this nonsense of trying to destroy each other, man. It's not going to go nowhere. You know what I mean? If you have a rivalry, the only time I feel like you can get it in is on the floor, man. Everything else everything else is like, yo, why? You know what I'm saying? When you can just build with that person and maybe collabo on certain things.
Right.
Just say me and Omar is rivals, right? And on the battlefield, we go hard. We're like, yo, Omar, outside, let's make a video, bro. Like, his name ring bell, my name ring bell. So it's like, yo, let's get the fans, you know, something to watch. Make a video with each other, you know, collabo, be part of a different project with each other. But at the same time, if there's a battle going, guess who's gonna watch that shit? Your fans, your supporters, and they want to see the two go at it on the dance floor. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, like, that's the way to move nowadays. You know. Now I'm not talking about beef here. Beef is a whole totally different, right? Like there's none of that. Like beef is totally different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just friendly rivalry. Like this is what we do. We battle. You know. But if you talk about your moms and stuff and family, like that's a different story.
Yeah, I think the rivalries are healthy, you know. You know, as far as beef, I don't know. I don't have any beef with anyone. I haven't had beef with anyone in the scene mad long, or right, for that matter, you know. But I think that's good, man. That's a lot. It ended up being a long live stream. The last thing I really want to just say is like, well, first I want to thank everyone for tuning in, especially all the crew members, the fam who tuned in, anyone who watches this. I hope it's worth your time. Again, just my personal opinion and personal experiences that I can give and share with the scene. But also just appreciate the people who are here now, who won't be here forever. You know, I can speak for myself. I don't plan on breaking forever or being involved in breaking forever either. You know, everything has its time, its beginning and its end. So while these people are here, take advantage, ask, talk to them, message them, you know, build, grow, right? Yo, I'll smoke in an exhibition battle, bro. 11 rounds? Ty, can you do 11 rounds right now?
Hell no. You crazy?
Yo,
I can do maybe 9, 10, but the extra round, you'll be like, nah, hold up.
Right. But shout out to everyone who tuned in, man. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to the crew. Shout out to all my fam. Teams for Rhythm, Jack Turkeys, MZK, of course. You know, everyone who's been riding with us. All the younger homies who are out there putting in work, who are in the battlefield. You know, Canars, Jeffro. Shout out to Prevail's Tight Pants. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right? Tight Pants.
What's up,
Tight Pants. Prevail. Yo, Vix, what up, man? I got to get Vix on here, talk to him. You know.
Prevail, I got you. You want to go rounds?
We can go rounds.
Email my manager, bro. Eric.
Yeah, hold that management, y'all. Email him.
Deposit down, bro. I need that deposit.
Checo versus Prevail. Oh, see, that's what y'all don't know. Like, between MZK members, we be having, like, competitive mentality against each other, too. Like, man, hold up. Nah, I can remember Hurry and Jules?
Yo.
Yeah.
During Evolution, when we was like trying to pick the squad for Evolution, this is a little background story, right? We're in the hotel chilling, right? We're like laying down. Who was there? It was like Ty was like me, you, Floor Phantom, I think there with us, right?
Squirt,
Jules, right? They start getting into it, like about to fight and shit. You know, before freestyle session, trying to pick the squad for that. People was trying to fight. You know, like, people are serious about this, man. Like,
yeah, man.
Fighting for
yeah, we always, you know, get it in and all that. But that's what fam is about, right? We're going to have those. Yeah. And we always ride for each other at the end of the day, you know? And that's the key thing.
What up, Pollo?
Pollo, what up? Pollo going to be back in the Bronx.
Here's a funny story. I throw an event here in San Antonio called the Art of War, right? One year, Pollo was prospecting to become an MZK member, right? So after the event, we're like, yo, we're gonna battle Pollo down. right? We're gonna battle Boyle into MZK, right? Yo, tell me why we start battling Boyle into MZK. Like, in the middle of one of the rounds, I don't even remember what happened. Like, Tyquan was doing something, and Boyle does like a dive, bro, like right into fucking Tyquan and tries to assassinate him. So Tyquan had a lump, yo. He was like lumped up.
It was my left eye.
Boyle,
I was like, oh.
I was like, yo, this guy is getting battled into MZK and try to fucking assassinate Tyquan. Yo,
yeah, it was funny though.
B-Boy City before that, you got your tooth chipped.
Yeah, by Ness. I was like, yo, hold up. Because he was trying to wild out, like, and I was trying to, like, yo, chill, you know what I'm saying? And you know, when his ring, it went like this. And I was like, yo.
Yo, when Tyquan goes to battles with you, yo, he comes out injured.
Go to war for real. Nah, friendly fire and shit. No, man, there's so many stories, y'all. Man, I wish we had stuff on tape, man. Be like the exclusive MZK.
We'll do an episode like behind the scenes. We just have
for real. I think we'll do like a little episode. I'll just have like random MZK members like Paul, you'll come up, tell a story, and you come up and Jules, and it'd be fun, man. I think people would enjoy the entertainment, you know? There's so many fucking stories, man. But yo, shouts to Polio, shouts to everybody. Paul, you're gonna be back in the Bronx soon, you know? But yeah, man, I'm gonna share this on IG, and we go from there, and of course on YouTube eventually, you know? Yo, I'll see you soon, bro, in Houston. And Canaris, be ready for Orlando, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
Word. All right, y'all. Get at me. Peace.